Hi everybody, Pietro here. In the past lesson 5b we have been studying together the 5 boxes of the C major pentatonic scales, and in that lesson we mentioned that the C major pentatonic scale could be also called A minor pentatonic scale, and that in general a major key always has a relative minor key. So in today's lesson we're going to understand better the meaning of this relationship. Let's start with an example, so that first of all we're going to hear how the difference between these 2 points of view sounds. I'm going to improvise over the 2 chords C major and F major using the 5 boxes of the C major pentatonic scales, so the ones that we have been studying together in the past lesson 5b. It sounds like this. Okay, now I'm still going to improvise with the same 5 shapes, the same scales, but on 2 different chords. I'm going to improvise over the chords A minor and D minor. And this time it sounds like this. Okay, did you hear what a difference it makes? They almost seem to be different scales, but I used exactly the same 5 boxes, the same notes, the same positions. So what's the difference? The difference is the context. The same notes over different harmonic progressions completely change perspective. The first 2 chords sounded really happy, and also the notes of the pentatonic scale over those chords and centered around the notes C are a set of notes that has a really happy sound. Instead, if I play around the A minor chord and I center the melodic construction of the notes around the note A, the same set of notes sounds much more bluesy, a little more sad. A little more melancholic, right? This is just a change of context, of perspective. So what we want to do is we want to understand how to find the relationship between these 2 points of view of the same set of notes, the same scale, not only in the key, now we understood this in the key of C and A minor, but how to easily connect the major scale and the relative minor scale in different keys. How to choose which one we have to think about when we improvise. There is regarding the pentatonic scales, there is a trick to make this a lot simpler, I think, which is to refer to one of the 5 boxes in particular to start with, and then to go to the neighboring ones afterwards. There is one of the 5 boxes that is a lot more comfortable. It's the most commonly used in all blues and rock solos, and in this particular key, this is the box at the 5th fret. This one. This shape is often referred to as box number 1 of the pentatonic scales, because if we think about A minor, actually we have the root, the note A, as the first note of the box. But I like to call it in a different way, it's just my own way to call it, but I like to call it the JIMI shape. Thinking about Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page, but we could also call it Eric Clapton box, or B.B. King box, or David Gilmour box, or you name it, which one of the great rock and blues players box. But it's actually the shape in which I think 90% of the blues and rock solos were started from. And then from that shape we move to the neighboring ones really easily as an extension of this center. Okay, so if we think about the JIMI, let's call it like that, the JIMI box, then it's really easy on the JIMI box to see the relationship between the major and the minor roots, because the major root is with the pinky on that shape, so it's the second note of that box, and the minor root is the first note of that box, the one that we play with the index. If we play a bar chord where the index is with a minor chord, this is the 6th chord of the major key, and it's the center of the minor key, A minor for the key of C. And if we play with my pinky and then ring and then a little bar with 2 notes, this starts a major chord. So it's really easy to see major key, relative minor key, and to transpose this into different keys. For example, let's say we want to play an F minor pentatonic scale. So index is the root of the minor key. We have to move it, finding an F on this 6th string. So we said F minor, we go here at the 1st fret, this is an F, the chord is an F minor, the JIMI shape gives us an F minor pentatonic scale. This is the chord. Let's say we want to say what's the relative major scale. It's the same notes, but where's the root? Here. And what's the chord? Here. And what's the name of this chord? I don't know yet, so I'm able to play it even before I know what's its name. Now I think about the name: F, F sharp, G, A flat. A flat major is the relative major of a F minor scale. Okay, now let's say we want to play an E major pentatonic scale. So we said that the pinky is the root of the JIMI box in the major point of view. So let's move the pinky until it goes above note E. You have to go up until the 12th fret. This is an E on the 6th string. The chord would be this, JIMI box, major, happy, point of view. Roots of the major point of view of the pentatonic scale. Now, I ask myself, which is the relative minor? Index, this one, and the chord is this one. The scale is the same. This is the minor point of view, the blues point of view of this scale. I don't know the name yet, now I think about it. A, B, C, C sharp minor, relative of E major. Okay, another test, another question, E minor pentatonic scale. So we said minor, index. I go over an E note on the 6th string, again at the 12th fret as before, but this time not with the pinky but with the index. This is the chord, it's actually an E minor, JIMI box. Blues point of view. E minor pentatonic scale, relative major, pinky, same box, this is the chord, happy perspective, happy point of view, the root is this one, the other root was this one. Okay, so now, once you find the JIMI box in the key that you want, be it major or relative minor, it's then important to find the neighboring boxes, so the other 4 shapes. So for example, if we are in the key of E major, again with the pinky at the 12th fret and the index at the 9th fret for the JIMI box, then the previous box is starting at the 7th fret, and it's this one. Then JIMI, then the following box, they always start where another one ends. So here at the 12th fret, I start the following box. Then at the 14th fret, I start this one, which can be transposed an octave below, so at the 2nd fret. Its major roots would be this one. In the gauge system it would be called D. And the following one would be the one called C. Which has the roots of the major key here. And then again this one, which is the major root here, and then again the G. Okay, I don't want you to get crazy and move all of the roots of the 4 boxes besides the JIMI one from the major root to the relative minor root, at least not yet. What's important to do is to find the JIMI, think it in both ways, major or relative minor, and then find the other boxes. And then the difference between the 2 points of view, major or relative minor, would be more musical. It will depend more on the context on which you're going to play. So for example, with these 5 boxes of the key of E major, C sharp minor, you could try to go back to the interactive backing tracks of the lessons 16 and 18, which were in the key of E major. At the time we used those exercises to improvise with the scales, the complete scales of E major. You could go back to those exercises and try to improvise with these 5 shapes of the pentatonic scales of the key of E major, C sharp minor, And you're going to notice that lesson number 16, which was on these three chords, F sharp minor, A minor, E major, on the chords of the song I and Dry by Radiohead, is going to sound much more in the major perspective. And the other one, which was on the chords of the verse of Message in a Bottle, was around the chords of C sharp minor, actually. C sharp minor to A, to B, to F sharp minor. If you improvise on that with the same pentatonics, now they are going to sound much more in the minor point of view. Experiment with that, then we're going to do more exercises with the pentatonic scales and work together in more interactive backing tracks where we're going to use them to improvise both in the major context or in the minor context, and we're going to get more and more used to this double way of thinking the key. I hope everything was clear. Thanks a lot for practicing with me, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Ciao, bye bye.